Boom, guys. What is up? The Strong Boys 19 here. So welcome back to join and hang out with me for another live stream. And immediately I can see, well, on my screen, the 5 thumbs up from any of you guys that decided to click the thumbs up button. And I just didn't expect it. And not that I'm that kind of person that wants to have a lot of likes in the world, but there was an astronomical amount of likes from the last stream, which was great to see. And I have seen a few people coming in. Big Chunky 22, how's it going, man? Marie Ryan, hi. Shizazzle, thank you very much. So I am going to shut the door and turn on the new light. Which is so much better. And boom! So there it is. That is a huge difference. So you can see me better. And happy early birthday! Thank you very much, Shizazzle. So I have no idea how long I'm going to be going on for. From the video that I had done, hopefully I will be here around 11:30, or we can make it up to midnight, just to let the clock go to the right time to celebrate the 26th year for me. Greetings, friends. Greetings, Guitar Storms. How are you? Happy birthday. Thank you very much. I can't remember your name. I see your username, but I think it's John, maybe, if I can remember. Motley, how are you doing? Are you 26 today, on the same day as the release of the Stone Roses classic and underrated Second Coming? Actually, no, not right here. The 5th of December, yes, marks the 26th anniversary of Second Coming from the Stone Roses, but I will be 26 on the 6th, so you're pretty close. Birthday greetings, Mr. Guitar Man. Thank you very much. Be mindful and wise. Sorry that I'm looking on one side because I'm looking at the comments. Hello, Greg. Happy early birthday. Thank you very much. John, that is it. Now I can remember. Sorry that it's taken me a few seconds to think about that. I'm quite excited for this. Yeah, I am, to be honest. Man, earlier today, I was on a big positive mood. I was watching a live stream from one of my favorite YouTubers ever, 66 Samus, and that was such a fun blast. And speaking of Samus, I would like to do a very short video message to his account on Instagram. I know that he's been very busy, but I would like to say my gratitude to him tomorrow. And earlier, before I started this, I was watching the virtual show of Liam Gallagher down at the River Thames, which was really, really good. And I will talk about his new song, since Andy, one of my subscribers, requested me on Instagram to talk about the new single. So I will be doing that. Guitar Storm's 26 years old, and you already have a wealth of musical knowledge. Thank you very much. And earlier, I was originally going to have my mustache and beard shaved off, but it's too late. And thankfully, you have not seen the bigger detail of them, because my facial hair is absolutely messy. But at least it does not pick up as much as my face, right? But yeah, I do try my best to have a big musical knowledge. Of course, that there are other music fanatics that have a wider amount of knowledge than me. But usually when I learn something, it's either when I do album reviews or on my spare time on Wikipedia, just to know stuff, even on album reviewers. So yeah, I guess that I have a pretty decent amount of knowledge. Thank you for the 7 thumbs up and the 7 viewers are watching. So share this stream around to other music fans and tell them about me, and let's get along with each other and have some new faces. So, oh yeah. John, have you seen Corey Taylor from Slipknot singing Burning Love by Elvis Presley? No, I haven't. John, I haven't really been looking into a lot of stuff on the Beatles or Elvis Presley. I know that I have been reading some of the previous messages, maybe from you. I think it's from you on the last few streams about stuff from Elvis or the Beatles, but I haven't really been listening to them a lot, or just to look up some information. But speaking of the Beatles, speaking of them, I will be more than likely to do the entire discography reviews of each Beatles album. I will be doing the Genesis discography. That's one of the new things to do for the channel in the new year. And also incomplete discographies that I've been saying billions of times now. Cryptopsy to finish. Same with Megadeth. I'm also going to be doing the Mastodon discography for a YouTuber named Rock Music Forever 90, who requested, who told me to do the discography of Mastodon that I have not done in a long amount of years. So that's me being the biggest hypocrite in the world. So I will do the discography and dedicate it to that YouTuber. 20 I know that's very weird, but I just had to do it. The number 22 is my favorite saying from Samus. 20 So he does it better than me. I don't care. Guitar Storms, but you put so much love and soul into it. Thank you very much. Again, that I do like to be so dedicated into what I love in my videos. And by the way, if you haven't seen my recent reviews, please share a like and comment. It will really boost the channel up. I've been getting a lot of attention lately on the 2020 reviews, which is surprising for me. Well, I guess it's not because of me reviewing new albums that have been out recently. The latest one was on the new Smashing Pumpkins album, Sia. But I am going to be doing some more new album reviews. So that's going to be something worth of a great time to do some more new reviews. There will be some more reviews on older albums because I like to vary my videos. Happy 26th birthday. Thank you very much, Marie Ryan. Guitar Storms, open up that guitar case and show us that Gary Moore Les Paul. It's in the other room. It's in the music room. You know, I've been really busy practicing, working on music and playing guitar, but maybe you will see it one day. So, awesome, Big Chunky 22. Be mindful and wise. The Mastodon discography will be cool to review. I always revisit Leviathan and Crack the Sky the most. I have actually played Leviathan a few weeks ago, actually. So, yeah, the Leviathan album, I have played this album whilst I was just chilling. It's still a classic, and you know, loads of people say that it's their best album or the favorite. This is, for me, the second favorite Mastodon album, but I am going to be doing the discography ranking after the reviews of each album. I have actually reviewed Once More Round the Sun back in 2014, but I think I'm going to re-review that album, since it has been a very long time since I've last played that album. But Leviathan, really do love the album. So, speaking of CDs, guys, there is a big crate of loads of CD stacks, and the new plan that I am going to be doing in the new year is to reorganize my CD collection, because there's a lot of stuff that has been moved around, and you may have not seen those shelves before, and there is another shelf with CDs inside the drawers, because that's just so much, a giant pile of CDs that are in my collection, that it is a pain in the ass to organize from A to Z. So that's got to be one of the things that I need to do. Looking at some more comments, Slipknot said they are going to release a new album in 2021. I don't know if that is going to be possible, because, with each Slipknot album, usually it does happen in the next, say, between maybe 3 to 5 years. But if they are going to be releasing a new album in 2021, that's going to be something. But I think it will be up for a new album in 2022. There's going to be a new Carcass album, maybe a new Mastodon, maybe Mastodon, possibly. What was I going to say on a new release? There's going to be maybe a new Iron Maiden as well, maybe Mastodon. That wasn't the next band I was going to say, but which moment will happen, surprisingly. Cool. Twisted Sister, oh come all your faithful video clip. To be honest, I'm not really a Twisted Sister fan, but I do respect the artist. Cool, you still have a VHS player. Yeah, that has been with me and the family for years. The last video that I played was for Cross Purposes Live by Black Sabbath, and it played brilliantly. I actually decided to connect the headphone jack at the bottom of the TV screen to connect to these speakers, which are connected to the laptop, because just to get a better and louder volume of sound, and it actually works. So Cross Purposes Live is an excellent show from Black Sabbath with Tony Iommi. My favourites are Shizazul. My favourites from Mastodon are Crack the Sky and Once More Round the Sun, album-wise. Once More Round the Sun is a very good album, but I think I gave it a really high review when it came out, but I'll have to listen back to it. Guitar Storms, any new musical plans for next year, live-wise? It really depends, because now that we've been hearing some new restrictions and lockdowns, and still a lot of the stuff happening for live gigs, which I'm not going to go back into because I don't really want to go political here, but I hope it does come back. But let's just say that we should really be as comfortable and as positive as we can to do what we can to keep live music going and to keep making music for the worthwhile for the time being than stopping everything. Because personally, it's not the time to lose all of that because of one thing. So you have to be as productive as you can to keep the momentum of being busy. Like throughout most of 2020, outside of the gigs, I have been personally busy with what I want to do, and I have been so into it to keep as productive as I can. And well, besides making videos, but the majority is 2020 has been a really busy year to me because of making music and to go in a very reflective path to make a lot of the time for myself to be um, as focused and positive as I want to. I was going to be doing a meditation video, which I am going to do, but unfortunately, I will have to re-record my sayings of my experience with it, as well as a clip of me doing yoga, because the amount of videos that I have recorded with this little camera, the videos that were going to be uploaded of that meditation topic to the channel has just disappeared. So that pissed me off. But anyways, but 2020, despite it being a really difficult year, is actually still one of the years that I have been very optimistic with. Sorry if I went on a bit too long there. Crack the Sky is best, Tommy Magnus says. Crack the Sky is my favorite Mastodon album. I was actually watching the DVD of the making of Crack the Sky. It's a brilliant documentary. And the more I thought about the songs, the more I thought about the material, it really just puts me on a great edge. A great edge of, of the astronomical amount of the songwriting and the riffs and just the overall sound of this record that boosts everything up for me. I absolutely love this album. It's still one of the greatest albums, to me, one of the top greatest albums of all time. And I will say which Mastodon song is my favorite in the review for this album. But it is a song from this. So, yeah. Guitar Storms was Crack the Sky about the Death of Sister. The title track is, and there are really cool themes on other things, but mainly the title and the title track was about Brandailles' sister. But I highly recommend the making of Crack the Sky. I don't know if it's on YouTube, but if it's not, get the special edition. I think it's a special edition of the album. Can't wait for the new Carcass album. Yes, Big Chunky 22, the new Carcass. It's going to be amazing, I hope. I haven't heard the EP yet, but I am going to be looking forward to checking that one out. Shizazzle, yeah, Carcass has been pretty good in my opinion. To me, they are one of the best extreme metal bands in the UK. And I'm glad that they are from Liverpool, because I love Liverpool, because I love the scenery and a big amount of the dedication of the music scene, especially and obviously for the Beatles. Big Chunky 22, Torn Arteries is a sick name for an album. Marie Ryan for the guitar emoji and headphones emoji. Shizazzle, their latest EP they released was really good. Yeah, loved The Living Dead at the Manchester morgue. John, which one you like more, So this is Christmas by John Lennon. Well, Happy Christmas, War is Over, or Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. The John Lennon one, the Happy Christmas, War is Over song is my favorite Christmas song. And I know it's biased because Lennon's my favorite musician, but I love that song. And Slade's Christmas song, I will have to say my opinion. Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time is one of the worst and cheesiest Christmas songs that I have heard so much that I've heard it that much that I just hate it. I just do not like it. It's so bland and cheesy. Yeah, I know I used to hear it as a kid, but the song I did like at the time, but it just got so generic, and not as strong as Lennon's. Marie Ryan, Nearly Christmas. Yes, Christmas is my favorite season. For the memories and the nostalgia. By the way, guys, is the audio good and the video quality? Please tell me, because the reason why I'm saying it is because that I was watching back some of the previous streams before this year, that there were some lagging and audio sound issues as well, mainly from the heating from the laptop. But I hope it's as good as the last one, the last stream. Shizazzle, the title track on Crack the Sky, is quite haunting to say the least. Yeah, it is a pretty powerful number, and the vocals were just monstrous. The vocalist from Neurosis, I think it's Scott Kelly, the name, but what a name for a song, Crack the Sky. Hang on a minute, guys. I totally forgot to do a bit of sharing for the stream, but I will get back to you. Hopefully it's not going to take that long. I don't mean to look away from you. Just going to see if the stream is running. Yeah, I think it's running. I see 9 thumbs up. Thank you very much. So let's share this. Okay, yeah, so sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you're still here for that amount of seconds. Be mindful and wise. Black Sabbath's Born Again is pretty underrated in my opinion. So here's the thing with Born Again. Yes, I know I had to get the CD out. So Born Again was a record that I actually at first did not care for. But when I did my re-ranking, I did like this better. But here's the thing. When I last played this album, there was an annoying amount of skips. I think it happened around the track from Digital Bitch and Born Again, and it just pissed me off. So I am not going to buy another CD copy of Born Again. Maybe a deluxe edition because of some different stuff. But yeah, Born Again, back to this in a better form of context. I think this album is very enjoyable, but I still do not understand that people say it's one of the classics. And I think I have heard somewhere that the album, according to Ozzy's opinion, is Black Sabbath's best album since he was out of the band. I think it was that fact that I have seen from Ralph's review from his very old segment of The Eternal Idols, where he reviewed every single Black Sabbath album. But yeah, I like Born Again now, despite the production and the awful album cover art. So I am interested to know, which album do you think from Black Sabbath is underrated? You know mine. Some of you may know which Black Sabbath album that I love is underrated. If you have seen my re-ranking, Guitar Storms. I'm missing a lot of comments almost. Carcass new EP is classic. Guitar Storms did one of the guitar players. One of the guitar players now play with Angel Witch. That sounds pretty cool. I like Angel Witch's first album. Guitar Storms, Carcass have spawned so many great bands. Yes, they did. Big Chunky 22, General Surgery. I don't know what that is, mate. Guitar Storms, David Bowie, Pure Romper Pom Pom. Shizazzle, I haven't checked out General Surgery. I have heard of them. Oh, it's a band. Sorry, Big Chunky 22. But I haven't gotten to them yet. I haven't heard of General Surgery. Guitar Storms, Born Again is a classic. That's awesome to hear. Shizazzle, Born Again is quite underrated. I don't think I should just keep saying the same username from a multiple amount of comments from the same person. Audio and video are all good on my end. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Guitar Storms, a little hissing in background. Yeah, I think it's the laptop. John, the audio's great. Awesome. Big Chunky 22, audio's fine. Tyler, thank you for coming in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Hey, dude, happy early birthday. Thank you. Bergie117, brilliant album. That's awesome to hear. Glad you like Born Again a lot. Tyler, Born Again has one of the worst album covers I've ever seen. Yeah, I still just don't like that album cover. I have seen worse from other bands, but Born Again, you know, I just don't like it at all. It's just so thin in originality and detail. John, to be honest, not a fan of video clips from musicians. I know the video clips is marketing. I don't know what you're on about there, John. Hopefully you could explain it so that I would, possibly reply to it better. Shinto Ketchup, meh, it's okay. You know, there are still some defenders on Born Again, and as well as people that have been dividing their opinions from others on Born Again. But I like Born Again as it is for its own identity, though I think not everything is perfect. But I wouldn't mind putting on Born Again, to be honest. Bergie, happy birthday, thank you. Shizazzle, apparently Ian threw up once he saw the Born Again album cover. Yes, he did. He did throw up. And I think one of the members of Black Sabbath hated it. I think, I don't know if it's either Iomi or Ward that hates the album cover. I can't remember, actually. Sedition Through Scorns. Jake, how are you doing? I hope you are staying positive. I know it's difficult for you where you're at because of the whole madness and the pandemic, but you are very lucky to get some recognition from actual household names in the extreme metal scene, and you have put in a lot of work the more you realize. Yo, Greg, happy birthday, dude. Wanted to come by and see how things have been with you and whatnot. Things have been pretty great for me lately. Still keeping the positives. Also, what are your thoughts on people doing album of the year lists? Is every year fan of it or not? Actually, I do get curious and interested to know whoever makes a list. I've seen some new lists for the favorite albums of the year, but maybe you and the guys will see me maybe doing a list of new albums for each year. I know that's a bit of a spoiler. Well, it isn't now, but fuck's sake. But I will be possibly doing it in the next week or the next few weeks. But I do like those kinds of lists because I am interested. Because I think 2020 is a brilliant year. Well, a great year for new music. Guitar Storms, have you played through a Vox? What do you think of the sound? I have not played guitar through a Vox amplifier, but they do sound good. They do sound good. It's like Exodus bonded by blood. Really? I've seen loads of rock guitar players that use that amplifier. Oh, Matt. Oh, Hope you are doing very well where you're at, man. Hope everything is good. I am really glad to see a few people from the 66 Samus community just because of my shout out video to Samus around the time that I had been watching Devin Townsend's Empath by Request Volume 2 show, and to be introduced to the community as a whole and to know Samus. So to the Samus community, thank you so much. It does mean a lot to me. I felt very welcome. I felt involved. I just felt connected with the personalities of people virtually, and to know Samus. If you have not seen 66 Samus, all in one word, guys, for those that don't know who he is, he's a legend, an American drummer, lives in Canada, and check him out. He is a metal drummer. He played with bands like Decrepit Birth and Abigail Williams, and he has been playing with Devin Townsend, and he was one of the drummers on the Empath album, 66 Samus. Check out his channel. I know I gave him a shout out on the video that I've just mentioned, but you will not forget it, I hope, if you haven't heard of him. So subscribe to his channel, and that's where Big Chungy 22 and Matt is from his community. So it is a brilliant feeling to become virtual friends from a community of another popular YouTuber. Guitar Storms, The Battle Rages On, a great Deep Purple album. I have not listened to that one. I know they've made Whoosh, their new album, but I have not listened to it. Oh, John, for example, Bon Jovi video clip, It's My Life. Don't get me started on It's My Life. Sorry to Bon Jovi fans, but I can't stand hearing It's My Life. Living on a Prayer takes the piss. No disrespect to the fans of Bon Jovi. Matt, decent idea for my site too. And your site, by the way, Matt, is very, very good. I did check out your website since you sent me a message privately for me to discover your website, and I really like it. I like the dedication and the reviews that you've been posting on there, the detail of the work. Brilliant make of a website, dude. Be Mindful and Wise, Deep Purple's new album Whoosh is good despite the awful title. Yeah, I think Whoosh is a generic title. Same with Now What. Now What has a bland album cover as well. But I liked that album. Tyler, I've noticed you've reviewed more albums from the current year than you have in previous years. It is actually pretty funny because when I review new albums, they do get a great amount of the views, but when it comes to new album reviews, they were bigger. And no, I'm not a person that is begging or just thinking about the views. But I say that because it's crazy that the time to review an older album, the attention is pretty decent, but with newer albums, the attention is higher than ever. Well, I guess it's just because that it's on a new trend for a lot of times of new albums. And I'm actually really pleased to review new albums for each year. I have reviewed quite a lot, but you will see some albums that I did not talk about at all on the channel in the next few videos. Big Chungy 22, I'm glad I found this channel. Thank you. Thank you so much, Big Chungy 22. Thank you for subscribing. And that goes to anybody. Thank you for being who you are, as I say before. To the newcomers, welcome. Thank you to the support that you share for me, as well as the old subscribers. And I will be making as many videos as I possibly can. But in the future, there is going to be some more new changes if the productivity for me as a musician and as a bandmate gets really consistent more than the videos. But I will be making videos hopefully as commonly as I have for a lot of years. Quite welcome, actually. I'm talking this much that I've missed a few comments, I think. I haven't. Be mindful and wise. Devin Townsend is a genius musician. I love his work with the Devin Townsend Project the most. That is a brilliant selection of albums. Devin Townsend's discography is huge. Personally, I love to hear Devin more from Strapping Young Lad on that discography, but some of his project albums are amazing. And some of his own solo stuff, just great stuff. His discography is, for a lot of words to say. Jake, any anticipation of albums you're looking forward to in 2021? I know Suffocation, Behemoth, Dying Fetus, Immolation, Abigail Williams, Dark Funeral, Morbid Angel, and others are making music for sure. Those kinds of names I'm looking forward to hearing. I'm not a fan of Dying Fetus, but I like the sound of their music. I have heard quite a pile of their songs, mostly through 66 Samus's streams, but I do like Immolation a lot. I love some Suffocation and Behemoth. Morbid Angel, I need to listen to the follow-up for Kingdoms Disdained. I think that's the album after Illu Divinium Insanus. But some really good names there. But I'm looking forward to the new year of albums. Shizazel, if I had to choose, my top 3 bands are Iron Maiden, Death, and Invicta. I don't really know Invicta enough, but I love the other 2 bands. Guitar Storms. Oh man, Whoosh, please listen to it tomorrow. Hopefully, well, maybe I will listen to it. I've got other albums to listen to for the time being. But I think I haven't got, a lot to listen to before the ending of this year, because I think I've listened to enough for now. Unless that I will listen to some other albums that I either haven't heard of or that interests me that I didn't review or listen to before. Bon Jovi first record is pretty cool. Marie Ryan Shizazel, mine is Slipknot, Korn, and The Prodigy. Marie, I did see your comment on the Keith Flint video. I love The Prodigy. They were one of the first bands that I have loved outside of metal. Korn still hold a big place, and Slipknot the most. But it's really cool that you've been thinking of some nostalgic names that I have loved. Um, but that's great that you love those three. Uh, Matt, It's My Life was produced by the same guys that did the boy band stuff around that time. Um, Cheron Studios, Cheron. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Studios, Max Martin, etc. You can hear it in there 100%. Sounds like Backstreet Boys. Never heard of those names, but It's My Life is just, to me, a really um, um, annoying pub karaoke song to me. Tyler, Bon Jovi has like 2 or 3 songs I like, but they do nothing for me. See, Bon Jovi is overrated, in my opinion. Shizazzle, nice top 3, Marie. Guitar Storm's Witchcraft Band. I don't think I know any band in that name. Um, Matt, Slippery When Wet and NJ were cool, but haven't bumped much else. To be honest, I've never been a big listener of Bon Jovi, so I can't really say anything. But I don't mind the respect that I would give to Bon Jovi and the success. But when it comes to Bon Jovi all the time, it's just those songs I've mentioned from a lot of people. John, your favorite song by Dimmu Borgir? I haven't really got one, to be honest, because I haven't heard all of their albums yet. Um, so I need to listen to their discography, and once I would maybe do another stream in the future, I could possibly mention a song that is my favorite from them. Guitar Storms, please listen to Ian Minor by Phil Anselmo. Very cool. I'm not a fan of Phil Anselmo stuff outside of Pantera, but maybe I will check it out. Big Chungy 22. My top 3 bands are Carcass, Napalm Death, and Cathedral. I have heard good things about Cathedral. I love Carcass and Napalm Death. Their new album, I've just listened back to it. In my opinion, it is still an awesome, fantastic album. It's, to me, possibly as strong as Apex Predator Easy Meat. Maybe, but either or, that album is so great. Guitar Storms, thank you for being a great host with a passion for music. Thank you for subscribing and for commenting, Guitar Storms. Shizazzle, there are a lot of great bands out there, if I were to be honest. Big Chungy 22, does anyone like Cathedral? Oh my god, I'm reading previous comments that I've seen a bar of scrolling down to see much more comments. Hang on. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. I'll have to check out Cathedral. I know that there are people that like Cathedral, as I've seen some replies now. Tyler, did you ever read the story about the time Bon Jovi recorded an album in a room opposite a Fear Factory during the making of Demanufacture? Yes, I have heard of that story from Free to Be Who I Be's review of Demanufacture. But that is a pretty interesting story, to be honest. Matt, Big Chunky 22, as a reply, heard of them for sure. Any records in particular to check out? Blackwater Rust. How you doing, man? Thank you for tuning in. Hope you are doing well. Shizazzle, I like some of their tracks from the guessing game, but upon listening to it, I found it quite cheesy in my opinion. I'm assuming that is maybe Bon Jovi. I don't know. I don't know that song, or the album, I think. Um, Big Chunky 22, check out Forest of Equilibrium and the um, Ethereal Mirror. Why is this comment hell for review? Um, Matt, you have Instagram? Look up my name. If so, drum covers all day plus reviews. Awesome. My Instagram is GB Music Buff. All in one word, no capitals. You can see me um, with random stuff on there. I rarely share things on Instagram lately, but I do go on there if I want to like a lot of people's posts and comments. And I don't mind a good DM. I haven't really vid chatted to anyone on there before though. Big Chunky 22 and pretty much all of their stuff. John, weird, no singles from Led Zeppelin. Big Chunky 22, I've just read your comment and now you've deleted it. Weird, no singles from Led Zeppelin. I'm pretty sure they have released singles, John, from their career. Blackwater Rust, to be honest, Morbid Angel became terrible in my opinion after Domination. That is quite a surprise. I do like a lot of Morbid Angel, but Illu Divinum Insanus is the only one album that I think is not very good. Altars of Madness is still for me my favorite, which I will have to get into some of the latest stuff. Billy Bishop, how you doing, man? Do you like Stone Temple Pilots? I like them. What about you? I quite like Stone Temple Pilots. I like the sound of them, but I haven't really heard of them enough to, discover a lot of the albums. But I have heard of that name occasionally. The Phantom Lord 76. Hello there, by the way. Have you heard the band 1914? If not, definitely recommend them. I have not heard of 1914. I know there's a band called 1349, but I haven't heard of that band name. Scroll down, please. Big Chunky 22. The Cathedral singer Lee Dorian was once in Napalm Death, and so was Bill Steer from Carcass. Yep, I have heard about it. That's very, very cool. John, I wrote singles 2 times. Lol, sorry. Don't be sorry. Sometimes I repeat a word in every sentence. Maybe if it's a word like and or a comma, whatever. So you're not the only one. Blackwater Rust, Morbid Angel's first 4 albums are great though. Altars of Madness is one of the best debut albums of all time. I agree. I do love the production. It's just very murky and it's big off the time with these thick booming guitars and the drums with reverb, the vocals as well, very raspy and brilliant. But it is one of the best metal debuts, classics of all time. Shizazel, what's your favorite type of cheese? I'm not a person that ate all the cheese flavors, but I love. I like the cheddar cheese. I think that's the cheese that I eat the most. Big Chunky 22. 90s pop is good cheese. To be honest, actually, Shizazel, did you mean the cheesy music or the food? Now that's thrown me off after Big Chunky 22's comment. But that's funny. Altars of Madness, by Mindful and Wise. Altars of Madness is a legendary album, but my favorite from Morbid Angel is Covenant. Tyler, only Witch band I know is Witchfinder General. I've never heard of a band that has the word witch other than Angel Witch. Max Martin is the guy who makes like 99% of all the pop songs on the radio. Again with the butchering. Cheiron was the Swedish pop studio that kickstarted his career. I've not really heard of the name Max Martin, as I said earlier, but I may have heard the name before actually. But I don't think so, man. John, can you play on your guitar It's My Life? Just kidding. No, I'm not going to play a Bon Jovi song, man. I don't want to play stuff that just is not really up to my taste. Blackwater Rust. My top 3 bands right now: Death, Megadeth, Catatonia, excuse me. It's a really weird word for me to read sometimes. Keeps changing fast, though. Could have put Bolt Thrower, Opeth, Emperor, Ulver, Alcest, Aglock, and Alnathrak in there. Those are some really cool picks. Really cool suggestions of picking top favorite bands. Matt, if John Bon Jovi, a lot of Bon Jovi talks, but I don't mind, could get performance royalties for every wedding Living on a Prayer has been played at, and he could put down the guitar now and never look back. You see, Living on a Prayer is just really a gigantic filler song for any ceremony. It's just everywhere. Not just because that it's worldwide phenomenon, but I just can't stand the song. Be Mindful and Wise, the best Dimmu Borgir album for me is Enthroned Darkness Triumphant. There are some really cool album names and album covers from Dimmu Borgir's discography. I should have had a glass of water. My throat is sore. Dry throat. Matt at Be Mindful and Wise, coasting on those 2 Morbid albums. Tiago, what do you think about Muse? I like Muse, but they were not a band that I personally would really grow to love. I used to see a lot of the music videos from them, from the eras, from the 2000s, Supermassive Black Hole, to Uprising, I think that's what it's called. Knights of... Fuck, I forgot the name. Knights of Synthenoid. I might have mispronounced the last name, or might have said the wrong word. Plug-in Baby, etc. But I like Muse. Just not one of the bands that I love. Blackwater Rust. You're going to make a top 10 metal albums for 2020? Oh, you know. Sorry if you don't know that. That's a quote from 66 Samus on YouTube. But maybe. Be Mindful and Wise. I like Stone Temple Pilots, but mostly the albums Core and Purple. Blackwater Rust. STP's first 3 albums are pretty good. Marie, I'm glad I like the kind of music that I do. You can like what you like. You know, no one is ever going to be at a mindset to say that your music, your taste in music is shit. Because, you know, that's just not really the way to do and accept a taste. But your taste is different to mine, but there are some tastes of music that you love that I do love. So that's all that matters. At least for a lot of people that are open-minded to share their taste and also to respect. You know, I can't stand people that that they respect their taste of their own but not respect anyone else's, which is just not the kind of person that I would be comfortable to be around with. I just like positivity, you know, and I just hate it sometimes when people do like the bands from my taste that they like, but just to dislike something negatively that I like and just to judge, you know, because I hate those kinds of judgmentalisms from people. You have the right to dislike a band, but not to dislike or judge somebody's taste because of that reason, you know? Um, Shazazzle, if I were to be honest, Bruce Dickinson's voice got kind of bad after A Matter of Life and Death. His vocals on Night of the Dead are quite bad, if I were to be honest. I actually think that Dickinson's vocals, yes, they have aged, but he still grabs a lot of the chops. He can still sing as brilliant and theatrical live as well. But yeah, his range is like fading a little bit, but it never bothered me. I mean, yes, there were moments from the Final Frontier, but I respect a lot on that record. But I still think that Bruce Dickinson maybe still will be pulling it off on the next Maiden record. I meant food, but music is fine as well. Yeah, that's what I thought as well, food. Yeah, Big Chunky 22. I try to make jokes sometimes and I fail miserably. Same with me, you know, nobody is the best at making the best jokes. Jokes are there just for, you know, the fun of it, but just to repeat jokes that a lot of people have said does get boring. Unless they would just, you know, say a classic joke once in a while, but just to repeat it, nah. I mean, nobody's perfect. Nobody is the best at everything, to be honest. And that is personally a fact. I mean, we are perfect for what we like and how talented we are, and how passionate we can be. We are perfect to, you know, be in a good mindset, and we all learn from mistakes. So, Big Chunky 22, lol, funny, shizazzle. Um, but I'm glad you respect each other from what I've just been reading. Blackwater Rust at Shizazzle. Kinda agree. Bruce's vocals were really not that great on the Book of Souls. And the new live album, his voice is pretty rough. I'll have to listen to the new live album, I mean. But the Book of Souls, I like the sound of his voice on that record. Big Chungy 22, didn't Bruce have throat cancer? Yes, he did. He did have throat cancer, but he beat it, which is great. Have a look of him now. If you liked Iron Maiden on Facebook or subscribed on YouTube, you may see Bruce with long hair again. Shizazzle at Blackwater Rust. For me, he started to sound worse on No Prayer for the Dying. He sounded pretty good on Brave New World and Dance of Death, but over time he became worse. I think Brave New World is one of his strongest vocal performances, and a few from Dance of Death too. But on No Prayer, there were vocals from him that I did not like. Blackwater Rust, I believe so. John, which favorite bands and singer from your parents and your best friend? Gracie, I'm really pleased that I've just sent the link to your Snapchat. I hope you are doing very well. And I know you may have seen my Snapchat messages. Sorry for a bit of the spamming, but I hope your family and yourself are feeling so much better. I'll get back to the other messages, guys, but I'm still very sorry to hear about one of your family members. I know that's off topic, to what I'm talking about a lot on music, but I do really connect and feel for you. So be as happy and as positive, and you will recover really soon, I hope. So, by the way, I hope your family is recovering for the better as well. Where was I? Um, um, Favorite bands and singer from your parents are your best friends. Um, I don't know what you mean there, John. Could you rephrase that, please? Because I have no idea. Shizazel at Big Chungy 22. Yeah, he had it, but I think he recorded the album with it, but I could be wrong. I think he did record the album whilst battling through it, but once he had beaten it, that is a big relief. Marie Ryan, my first time seeing a metal music video was Slipknot Left Behind uncut music video, and it freaked me out because I was 6, now I'm 13. The first Slipknot music video that I have seen was Duality when I was 11, when I was 11 years old, but it took me around the age of 12, I think, for me maybe to be the fan of Slipknot. And the music video that freaked me out because of its creepiness was the animated music video for Wait and Bleed. I love it now, but that was at the time, quite disturbing. But I was, fascinated by a band that I've not seen before with masks. So, um, uh, John, December 5th is the day of Bon Jovi. No way. No, it's not, man. Gracie's comment, your wide range of music knowledge is very impressive. Thank you so much, G. It does mean the world to me. And you're just as special to me as that I am happy, really happy to know who you are and to know your love and passion for what you love to do that's outside of my taste of other things. Shizazel, I was kind of born into metal because my dad would crank Arch Enemy, and according to my dad, I would headbang to Judas Priest, breaking the law when I was around 2 or something. That is awesome. So cool to hear. I am pleased. Your dad is a legend, Shizazel, and he is. So that is a really cool story. I'm just going to have a look at a Snapchat message. Sorry about this, guys. Hang on a minute. Oh, sorry, I'm distracted. Oh, the habit of trying to spell fast, but you make up random words that they just don't come out right. I don't mean to go away from the screen, so I'm sorry, guys. Oh, that was beautiful. Shizazul, I've read your comments. Blackwater Rust, I like early Muse, but the new stuff I find to be incredibly boring. Even if their early stuff, was blatantly copying Radiohead. I like Muse for what they are, but I love Radiohead. So Kid A is one of my favorite albums of all time, which I have reviewed. I still really like OK Computer. In my opinion, it is an overrated album, but it's still a brilliant, strong, and a unique sonic album. And the production was fantastic as well. But Kid A, for me, is my favorite in their discography. Big Chunky 22, Old Arch Enemy or New Arch Enemy. I haven't really heard enough, to be honest. So I like Arch Enemy for what they sound like. But Nemesis was the only song that I have the most familiar just feel with. Tyler, I listen to a lot of different kinds of music and respect people's tastes as well. That's the spirit. Why did I do this? That's the way to go. You know, if you come across somebody that is not accepting what you like, then even if it's a friend, they are not the kind of people that have the best connection to you. I know that is pretty difficult to think of that way, but it's something you have to accept if they are just going to be themselves, but not really in the positives. I've been through people that have been critical on my taste, people that have lied, used me, been bluffs, etc., which I'm not going to go into because the past is the past. Those are like from the school days, back when my music taste was not as growing as it is now. But stick to the people that you trust and you care about the most, and love what you love to listen to. Tyler, I think that is actually something, by the way, that is something important to keep in your head as well as other people's heads. Shizazel Angela, Big Chunky 22. Angela is awesome. I'm thinking you're talking about the Arch Enemy era. Yeah, I think so. Shizazel, yeah, her vocals are incredible. Blackwater Russ picks the old Arch Enemy. Big Chunky 22. I really like Black Earth and Stigmata. Doomsday Machine and Wages of Sin are good. Gracie, yes, Breach. That's my sign to you as well. YouTube, why do you keep these people's messages held for review? Blackwater Rust, I definitely have my opinions. I definitely dislike plenty of bands, but I don't want to be an elitist dick about it. You see, that's the thing. That's what a lot of people are. And like myself and also you don't have to dislike somebody because of what their taste is that's different to yours. I've made a rant video about the true fan thing, and that topic of what I'm talking about now had to be said. It was brief, but it's to me a word of some facts. They're not opinions, but it's a fact that you can like what you like, as I say billions of times now, and just to not let any negative person drag you down. John, I really like Janis Joplin album Pearl. My favorite song is A Woman Left Lonely. I really like Janis Joplin too. Yes, I know some people say that her vocals are grating, but I think that's just a part of her unique charm. I have a greatest hits Janis Joplin album, but I like the sound of her vocals, with or without the Big Brother band. I think that's what the backing band of hers was. Shizazel, Anthems of Rebellion is a great album. Marching on a Dead End Road is a beautiful acoustic rock. Um, I'll have to listen to that. There are some of these album names or artist names I've not heard of before. Gracie, I am. Thank you. You're so awesome. I am really pleased to hear that. And hopefully we'll talk later on. Um, and I really want and hope that we'll hang out and be together in person. Because I would love to meet you and your family. Um, Sorry, guys, this is on personal sides here, but I just have to say something to G. John, I didn't put like which favorite bands and singer from your parents and your best friend like. Okay, thank you. Um, my parents, well, my dad likes a lot of music. My mom likes kind of stuff like the Small Faces and the Kinks, Simon and Garfunkel, and she likes The Who. She's not as a big music fan, but my dad likes some of the stuff that I love. He likes Deep Purple to Free, AC/DC, a bit of Sabbath, and he likes a bit of Oasis, Stones. Um, what else does he like? He likes the stuff that I personally like and play, to be honest. So he likes a lot of the rock, the classic rock stuff. Um, Big Chunky 22, the first metal music video I saw was Photograph. Fuck's sake. Sorry for the swearing. Look at this graph. That meme. The Nickelback memes. Zach D Productions. What's going on? Thank you for tuning in, Zach. Hope you're doing very well. I'm going to check out your videos. And also, guys, if you have not seen Zach's videos, his videos are like some album reviews to lists. His passion for music is growing as well. He's going to discover some bands that I love as well. So check out Zach D Productions and subscribe to his channel. He's also a friend and longtime commenter of Jamie Horsley, which I reviewed Deftones' Ohms with. Again, Jamie Horsley is a channel that you should subscribe to as well if you love a lot of metal and albums. He's going to be discovering some more different stuff outside of metal from what I've seen. So yeah, shout out to Jamie and Zach. Tyler, when I was 12, I got freaked out listening to Duality for the first time when Corey said I pushed my fingers into my eyes. That is still that's a classic. That is the number one song that gave me like the eye openers, like, what is this? Before I was in my teens. That was the music video that got me hooked on something different. And seeing the music video with all the fans around, destruction, breaking the shit out of the house while Slipknot playing loud. And I remember recording that music video and just repeating it non-stop. Same with Before I Forget. And I thought that was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. So, I would not forget Slipknot at all because of that song alone. That was the song that got me into Slipknot. Tyler, again, I thought he literally meant that rather than making a metaphor. Oh, jeez. Hang on a minute. Oh my god, I'm scrolling. I'm scrolling down. I've seen a lot of comments. Sorry, guys. I'm looking at all the comments as much as I can. So, Wise British Steel is a classic album from Judas Priest. My favorite will always be Painkiller, though. British Steel is a great album, but I think because of Breaking the Law and Minutes to Midnight are pretty overrated. I mean, I'm getting a bit of sick of hearing those two songs, but Painkiller never has a flaw. That is a gem of metal stuff that's 30 years old now. What's going on, Zach? I pretty much agree, man. Thank you very much for the comments. I'm skipping a bit. Sorry. Blackwater Rust. What's up, Zach? Shizazzle. What albums bring back the most nostalgia, y'all? For me, I would have said Ride the Lightning by Metallica. The albums that gave me nostalgia. One of them still for me would be Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses by Slipknot, to Cannibal Corpse's Evisceration Plague, and Nail Bomb's Point Blank, to let's see now, Simon and Garfunkel's Bridge Over Troubled Water, to oh my god, Greg, it's on this next shelf. So I'm going backwards a bit. There it is. Toxicity by System of a Down, and as well as Sepultura with Chaos AD, which I can't find, and Roots, Fear Factory as well. Mostly metal albums at that time when I was in my teens. So a lot of System of a Down to lots of old Sepultura, Slipknot, as I've said, Fear Factory, especially on the albums of Demanufacture and Digimortal. There is a lot for me to remember, but I have made a video as well of which albums mean the most to me, which is a couple of years old, of records that I have been thinking about for a long time, for memory's sakes, for nostalgia, etc. So if you haven't seen that, you can check it out if you want. It was around the time when Count Blagarath used to be on YouTube. So sorry about that for the searching. Oh, and also Rammstein albums of Mutter, and Reiso Rosenrot, Machine Head, The Blackening. There's a lot. John, my mom likes Heart, my dad likes Frank Sinatra, and my best friend likes The Doors. I love Frank Sinatra and The Doors very much. But what my best friend likes, he likes Fintroll to Moon Sorrow, Mr. Bungle, System of a Down, Slipknot, Faith No More, some Deftones, Burzum. You know, he is more of a fan of like some black metal. Big Chunky 22, Heartwork from Carcass brings me nostalgia. Blackwater Rust. My mom's favorite band is Van Halen. Wow, I bet her reaction, her heart dropped when she had heard about Eddie Van Halen. Big Chunky 22. Damn, I miss Eddie. Yes. Tiago Carvalho. You like the new Liam Gallagher? Why Me, Why Not? It's one of my favorite artists. Yes, I like Why Me, Why Not. I think that's his better album than As You Were. I did see Liam live in 2019, yes. And it was so good. It was fun. John, I hope we get a new album by Oasis. You know, when it comes to Oasis, as much as I love Oasis, besides that, not every album from them is perfect. It's just so annoying of an Oasis reunion comments. And I have made a video about why there should not be an Oasis reunion or something like that. You can have a look it up. The Strong Boys 19 Oasis. You may see a thumbnail of me with the Oasis logo and a picture of the Gallagher brothers. But I doubt that Oasis will ever come back. Well, Noel's not going to apologize to Liam, and I don't think, Liam would ever find a word from Noel personally, physically, so Tyler, I actually don't think Pablo Honey is as bad as most people say. It's not one of their best, but I think it's a good for a regular rock album. Pablo Honey is my least favorite Radiohead album. However, it's not bad. I like some songs on there, but it does have some filler on it. But I did like the record. I like the album for what it is. Sedition Through Scorns, Jake, I'm a death metal fan at heart, even though I don't feel ashamed since my music taste changed years ago, but I still love 80s music, but I like open-mindedness, which is what we need in this community. Exactly that. Thankfully, there's a lot of you guys that are as open-minded as Sedition and myself, that we can get along, we can get to know our tastes bigger and better, and it's going to be even better of an experience. Blackwater Rust. My dad's favorite bands are Dream Theater, Jethro Tull, and Rush. I have sorry, I'm trying to read here. Stupid stuttering. I have to thank him for getting deep into prog. Awesome picks. Your dad's taste is great. I love some Dream Theater and Rush. Jethro Tull as well. Rush is one of my favorite prog rock bands. Tyler, Anyone Can Play Guitar is underrated, but that one live video is just bizarre. I don't think I have seen that actual live video, to be honest. Well, I'll check it out. Big Chunky 22, does anyone here play guitar? Well, you can see me, but I see some comments here. Blackwater Rust, I play guitar. Big Chunky 22, cool. Marie Ryan, System of a Down is also pretty good. My big brother's into the band and said, listen to the first album, and I'm glad I did. That's a brilliant, great album, but Toxicity is my favorite System of a Down album. And I think still this album is very underrated. I remember that there was a bootleg, like some unauthorized release of Toxicity 2, which does really contain some of the tracks that are on there. Shizazel, I play some guitar, but I'm not the best at it. To be honest, you don't need to be the best to be a musician. You have to have the best amount of skills that you can get and proceed to a listener's ears. You have to work at it a lot, but you have to be in your mind like the best at it in a positive ways of saying that I'm going to learn this and I can do it. So Blackwater Rust, System of a Down's first 3 albums are really good. I don't get the ignoring ways of steal this album, because I think there are some of my nostalgia favorites on that record. I really enjoy Mesmerize and Hypnotize a lot. Those are Really great albums. Tyler, my mom listens to a lot of alternative rock and indie folk, while my dad listens to classic rock and hip hop. Awesome. Blackwater Rust. For guitar, I most like playing death, black metal, folk, hard rock, flamenco. Some great picks of genres. Um, oh my god, I'm still missing a lot of the new ones. Sorry, guys. Big Chungy 22. I subscribe to Zach D Productions. Be Mindful and Wise. I think Electric Light Orchestra is quite underrated. I love some ELO. Jeff Lynne live. My brother and I went to see him the night before, I think, of his birthday at the time of 2018. And Jeff Lynne's concert was amazing. It's so positive, and it's so catchy and uplifting. What a wonderful night. I love some ELO, and Jeff Lynne is a legend on himself. So, YouTube, stop making comments held for review, please. Zach D Productions. Will you show you bloody message? Sorry. I appreciate the shout out, man. Sorry I didn't say that sooner. My internet is acting weird. I'll be sure to shout you out on my 800 sub special. You don't have to, man. But I'm hoping that you're going to get 1,000 subs. But thank you if you're going to be doing that. I will check out your videos a lot more. But I like what you're saying. So, Marie, Ryan, AC/DC is great. They're still making music. Power Up is a very good album. Blackwater Rust, Zach and Jamie's channels are really solid. If you like rock and metal, you see that, guys? That's basically what their channels are. If you haven't seen their channels, Jamie Horsley and Zach D Productions. Sedition Through Scorns. Speaking of Slipknot, Iowa and Toxicity will be 20 years old next year. Two important albums throughout my childhood that appreciated the music I'm into. Still love both The Knot and SOAD. Same here, man. Zach D Productions. Oh, me and Jamie will be collaborating again soon. Yes, I actually enjoy your collaborative stuff together. Because I like your separate opinions. Blackwater Rust. To be honest, Slipknot's Iowa was the album that got me really interested in death and extreme metal. There is a lot of that in that darkness, the extremity of the brutality, and some of the drumming involving some blast beats can be in that vein, to low-tuned guitars and riffs. But that is pretty surprising, actually. Pretty surprising to see that. John, have you seen Heavy Metal 2 film? I haven't seen that, mate. Zach D Productions. I'm not a massive Slipknot fan. I know you're not a fan of Slipknot, but I definitely prefer their old stuff over their new. That's fair enough. Marie, Ryan, Blackwater, true. Sedition Through Scorns. Screaming for Vengeance and Sad Wings of Destiny, to me, I have resonated with Judas Priest. And Firepower was one of the absolute best since Painkiller. To me, Priest do no wrong. I haven't heard all of Judas Priest yet, but a lot of people slag off I forgot his name now, the era from Jugulator and Demolition. Blackwater Rust. Honestly, if I were to put a list of my top 10 all-time favorite albums, Painkiller would sure be in there. classic record all around. Tyler, Iowa, and Toxicity were the first albums I heard with blast beats. Wait, there's no blast beat in Toxicity, right? I think I'm sure I've heard some double bass control, but not blast beats. I'm surprised at that. But you have to tell me which song do you think the blast beats thing came on for a song from Toxicity. You have to tell me which song has that type of blast beat category. Marie Ryan, you deserve 30,000 likes. No, I don't. I'm not that popular. Sedition through Scorns at Tyler. Actually, Bring Your Own Bombs was the first SOAD song to incorporate blast beats, and they did the same with Radio Video. Yes, they have done that. And Attack as well. Big Chunky 22, 2,222 likes. Again, sorry for the cringy stuff that happened here. 66 Samus reference. Zach D Productions. Screaming for Vengeance is my favorite Judas Priest album, but Painkiller would be in the top 5. Maybe even my second favorite. Screaming for Vengeance is very good of a record, but I think Defenders of the Faith is my favorite in the 80s Priest for now. Tyler adds Sedition through Scorns. X from Toxicity has blast. That's the one. That's the one. Sorry about that. Yeah, you are right. Blackwater Rust, back when Machine Head were good. I still love Machine Head, but I think on the newest single, there may be a bit of a comeback for me. I'm not a fan of the last few singles, but I still love most of Machine Head. I mean, I have a lot of them in the collection. Blackwater Rust, Eddie Van Halen, the GOAT. To be honest, what is this GOAT thing? I don't understand this. I've seen the word GOAT a lot through some social media and YouTube comments. I don't understand it. Zach D Productions. I've been honestly craving a new Iron Maiden album. I am thinking the new one will come in 2021. I hope so. Tyler, Rob's really lost his touch over the years. I think his personality had changed since Catharsis. That's my opinion, but I think that's a big noticeable difference. Blackwater Rust, I don't want another Oasis album, to be honest. I'm honestly fine with the Gorillaz / Blur and Damon Albarn projects. I like some Gorillaz. I love their first album. I'm not a fan of Blur. I don't mind them, but, sorry, but I love Oasis. I have a lot of respect for Damon Albarn, though. And I am craving some as well, Zach D, even if it's a disappointment. Pablo Honey is... Pablo Honey is decent. Radiohead. Radiohead has no bad album, to be honest. Sorry for pausing the sentence, to be honest, even though King of the Limbs was a disappointment. Zach D Productions at Blackwater Rust. If it's at least an improvement from the last 2 albums, excuse me, we will be on the right track. I'm going to have a listen back to some Radiohead if they're going to make another album, because A Moon-Shaped Pool is easily one of their best albums in a long time. Blackwater Rust, I try to be open-minded. I try to challenge my musical taste as much as possible. Try some Captain Beefheart. That's some challenging stuff for you, even on Trout Mask Replica. Big Chunky 22, I try as well. Marie Ryan, I will listen to all of System of a Down's albums. I heard they're all good. Tyler says, do it. They've never made a bad album for System of a Down's career, as far as we are concerned. The 2 new singles I liked, but the earlier stuff was like the defining peak for Toxicity, in my opinion. John, did you had goosebumps when you went to the Cavern Club? I don't think it was like the actual Cavern Club. I guess they've like modernized it, but let's just say that it is just the Cavern Club. But it didn't give me goosebumps, but it was such a really cool time, especially on the Magical Mystery Tour, the tour bus. Inside the bus, outside John Lennon's house and Ringo's house, and stepped outside of George Harrison's house and Paul McCartney's house. Sadly, I did not go inside Paul's house. But that was well, sorry for the pun, the magical experience. Big Chunky 22. Good night, guys. Also, happy birthday. Thank you very much to Big Chunky 22. I will be hopefully see you on a YouTube comment, or if you have time to come to a live stream, then feel free to come on down. But actually, I don't want to spoil this, but I will mention the one word of another social media platform. I don't think I'll see you, Big Chunky 22, on YouTube, but I will be mostly see Samus on Twitch. A little short plug, but I'll make a video on that. I should have kept it secret. Blackwater Rust. I am pretty decent at guitar. I just mainly focus on having fun with the guitar. That's the main point of learning an instrument over time, if you want to learn an instrument. But guitar is my favorite instrument. I love drums as well. Shizazzle. Lately, I have been getting quite into typo negative. Songs like Nettie, I Don't Want to Be Me, Black Number 1, My Girlfriend's Girlfriend. I can pretty much keep going on, but I am really enjoying them. They are a really good band. I like the sound of typo negative. Blackwater Rust at Shizazzle, great band. John, soon is December 8th, the day that John Lennon was killed. Yes, I know. 40 years. 40 years. I will review his debut solo album in the next video too. Blackwater Rust. Slipknot, weirdly, with Iowa, got me into Carcass, Napalm Death, Gojira, Pig Destroyer, Morbid Angel, Cattle Decapitation. That's brilliant. I love that selection of bands that you mentioned there. Okay, Shizazzle says, the meaning of GOAT is greatest of all time. Man, that really threw me off a lot before then. Answer Edition through Scorns. GOAT, greatest of all time. Tyler, GOAT stands for greatest of all time. I did not think of that at all. Never up until now. So I feel like an idiot for that. Okay, so we are at the time zone for me at gone past 11 o'clock. The stream just whizzed by. Let's just make it up to 12 o'clock, so that the time for me being 26 is going to be, a big bang, I guess. Well, I think it will be. John, when they said GOAT to a singer on YouTube, I thought they were insulting the singer. Oh, God. Jeez. Blackwater Rust. Well, that is pretty funny. System of a Down's first 3 albums got me into Dillinger Escape Plan, Converge, Any Mike Patton Project, and weirdly enough, Zappa. I love some Frank Zappa music. Zach D Productions, yeah, I've really challenged myself musically over the years as well. Nowadays, I try to get into bands I wouldn't have gotten into in high school. That to me would be musical progression. That is great. It's a true thing. It's a musical progression to know your taste from that past, but as you went into the future, your taste expands. And now that I got into many more genres, it really gives you the big impression and a gigantic feeling that you discover so much more than you think. That's what I love. Um, Marie Ryan with the porn emoji and the guitar emoji. Shazazzle, how's the paint on your wall? These are not new paints at all. The only thing that's new was the new light bulb. Blackwater Rusty Hall. Marie Ryan, sorry, I've got to go for a bit to charge my tablet. See you later. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, Marie. Hopefully, you will be back in time for the 12 o'clock moment. If not, that's fine. Shizazzle, have fun charging your tablet. Tyler, I was big into black metal and hard rock back in high school, but after I graduated, I had more time to get into so many more genres I never thought I would dig into. You know, like everybody else, there's a new way of discovering a new genre that it gives you a different impression. Different impression, and that's what I like a lot about going into a versatile feeling of genres of music. I'm sure a lot of people really do that, which I think it's obvious to say that it does happen that way. Blackwater Rust, it's weird. My tastes now are so much more expanded and different than my narrow-minded music tastes back in the day. You know, from my past, I was at a phase of being judgmental and, you know, really not in the positives of moods to discover, as I say, not the best moods, like not being as familiar with myself to discover many great genres and records. But now that I've been doing that for, you know, pretty much most of the 2010s, since 2012, that really has been a big changer for me to know who I am as a music fan. Shizazzle, I can't wait for summer and to get out of high school so I can dig even more bands into, dig even more into music and all different kinds of bands. To be honest, I know you are waiting for summer, but you can still discover music tastes now on YouTube and as with other people's videos. But you know, it's never too late to discover something. But you can explore and expand your taste very, very commonly if you want to. Like what I've been doing, I just go from this genre to that genre, this artist to that artist, but it's fun. Sedition, Jake, have you considered or thought of an idea making a future video of your favorite bands on who sounds better live versus in studio? That's a very, very, very good question. Now I'll have to think about that because it is a big difference. It's a big difference to hear anything in a studio and live, but that is a big thing that I need to talk about in a video. So thank you very much to that suggestion. I like to see your interpretation and personal opinions on that. Blackwater Rust. I used to be so much into hardcore punk, hard rock, and thrash back in school. Now I really love experimental, prog, death metal, jazz, hip hop, punk, and thrash. I still enjoy, but not as much, to be honest. It's a feeling that sometimes not not um, weirds me out or worries me, but it's a feeling that makes me think, yeah, I liked that band back in the day, but I still have the band's few or selections of albums in the collection that I still would like to listen to. The Prodigy, for example, and Seether, and Old Green Day, to Kings of Leon, Old In Flames, and even on a few bands that I did love that I'm not a fan of anymore or have faded out. But I know where you are coming from. I know that feeling. Um, Olumentes, hey my boy, what's your take on Clutch? Do you prefer the early punkish vibes, the more bluesy metal stuff, or the retro sci-fi psychic warfare fits you better? I'm not a fan on Clutch yet, but I like the sound of the band. However, I used to see the music video to 50,000 Unstoppable Watts. And also Rival Sons, Black Pistol, Fire, for example. Again, um, I like I like the sound of Rival Sons, but I don't think I will be a fan. But I like the sound of their music and respect their style. Shizazzle, the main genres I want to get into are punk, jazz, blues, country, and funk. There is a lot to dive into on that one. Um, Loads of different classic albums from funk to the jazz. On some of my update videos, I am quite a bit of a jazz fan, and I am a huge fan of Miles Davis. Blackwater Rust, Iron Maiden, I would say, sounds even better live, and that's really impressive since I'm the studio. Excuse me, I think it meant to say in the studio. Sorry, they are still legendary. Same with Opeth. John, vinyl or CD? I like CD more because I don't turn the CDs round. Lol, I'm lazy. I'm always a vinyl person, but before I collected vinyl, I have a lot of CDs. A lot of CDs. More than 1,000. I don't want to boast, but that's a big collection. But I think I have more records than CDs. The last time that I've counted, I've lost, my heavy thinking of what the actual number of records I have now. But it's crazy. It's crazy to have an a big amount of both collections. Blackwater Rust, Alice in Chains as well live are unbelievable. Even still today, Blackwater Rust, Slipknot, and Ghost also are better live. Sedition through Scorns. Jake, I don't know if you get this asked before or not, but do you prefer the proggy, almost abstract sound of the old Opeth, like Still Life, or the progressive side of rock, such as Watershed? For now, I like the proggy abstract sound of the previous era of Opeth. But I need to get into the prog rock era better. Not that they're bad, but I remember Opeth on the heavy side. Shizazel, I like CDs, but I want to get some of my favorite albums on vinyl. I know the prices are bigger and the artworks, but the prices are a thing that you need to look out for, I think, the most, besides the condition and the packaging. Blackwater Rust, I have quite a few vinyls. So we are close to 2 hours into the stream. So, let's make it up to 12. Let's make it up to 12. I know that the stream is going to be long, like the last one, but I think this one is going to be shorter because I can tell, because I started the previous stream at 8 o'clock and then I finished around 11:30, or wait, no, sorry, around 11, I think, close to 11. John, do you like Clannad and Enya? I haven't heard of that band. There are some of these names that I am never that familiar with, as I said earlier, but I'm interested to know them. Once I will look back at these comments and on previous live stream comments, I will discover the music. Sedition Through Scorns, I love CDs. It's more convenient and cheaper, though the sounds are differentiating than vinyls. But to me, CDs are less of a hassle and stress than vinyl. But if you get both on sale, then do it. Excuse me. Shizazel, yeah, the gold version of Bathory's first album can go for about $3,000. That's insane. I have bought expensive records, but not that much. Tyler, I'm going to go. It was great talking to you and everybody here. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you very, very much. And thank you for the regards. Hopefully, I'll see you again in another live stream or another video. By the way, yes, I know I haven't done it. I will review the album The Devil You Know and mention your name. Shizazel, see ya to Tyler. John, this live stream will be longer than Gone with the Wind film. No way. No, it won't, unfortunately. But I guess I wish that it would have been going on for that long. 16 thumbs up as well. 6 viewers, now 7. These streams are one of my favorite things to do on the whole specialty of the channel. I went through so much that this channel is still a special part into my life, and I am grateful to do it. So to do it for making videos and to be interacting with you guys. Sedition Through Scorns, Enya is an Irish solo singer that has Celtic influences. That's pretty cool. Blackwater Rust, I'll check that out. Old Opeth, I always will like more, but the new Opeth has its good moments, still really mixed on heritage and sorceress. I need to listen to the later Opeth and dig into them better. Unfortunately, the only one that I've heard all the way through was Pale Communion. John, to bye to Tyler. Shizazel, what are some of your favorite video games? I've only been a person that likes to play older games. I love playing some arcade games that are on PS2 or PC, like Vampire Knight, to House of the Dead 3 and 2, 1. I'm also more of a PS1 and PS2 guy. I like a bit of PC. I love games. like Demolition Racer to The Simpsons Hit and Run, PC games of Scrabble and Monopoly Party on the PS2. I'm not really a person that is onto new games. But I used to play games back in the day. John, PS or Xbox? PlayStation all the way. Pecky Peck, the new Crash Bandicoot 4 game, I would definitely recommend. I haven't played it, but my brother has Crash Bandicoot 4 and the Insane Trilogy on the PlayStation. Excuse me. Toys for Bob did a great job making it like the classic PS1 era. It's a really good remaster and the transfer, but the voiceovers on like 3 were pretty disappointing. But I'm always on the original side. But the controls for Crash Bandicoot 1 is a pain in the ass. But I think the only Crash Bandicoot game that I always have tried to beat a lot, but with its frustrating levels, was Crash Bandicoot 2. It pissed me off, so I didn't come back to that game. But I'm on the section of the ice and the icicles, but I haven't completed the game yet. I don't know if I should really complete an entirety of a Crash Bandicoot game, to be honest. But it's just that challenging. Maybe I would in my spare time. Blackwater Rust, Simpsons Hit and Run are pretty cool. Favorite video game series? I don't really know. I'm not really a fan of the easily recognizable and beloved favorites of games series. I mean, I love the respect and the acclaim for a lot of people, but I don't have really a video game favorite series. Excuse me. Seditions through Scorns. What's your stance on death metal and black metal using classical compositions? Do you feel the dynamics and progression stand out from the rest, or do you feel it's overly saturated? It depends on who I like to listen to. But if something strikes me, I like the sound of it. But really, I am a person that likes to just hear a lot of the genre's music from the stuff from the 90s and the 2000s without those things. But I like to hear some classical sounds in a dramatic way, like Dimmu Borgir, for example. But I haven't really heard a lot of the bands in that vein into that kind of sound. I'm always more onto some of the classic sounds from classic bands in that genre. John, I thought the Scorpions were from the UK. No, they're not. Shizazzle, for me, I would say the Walking Dead games. Those games were so good. Then the end of the final seasons hit me really hard. To be honest, I have to say, as much as I like the success that it got, I think the show is so overrated. No disrespect. I don't want to spoil in case if anyone hasn't played it yet. Sedition through Scorns, PlayStation wins for me. Best exclusive, best value, fantastic franchises, and not to mention the PS2 still lives up and sold endlessly amounts of consoles this year. Now we're talking gaming for now. So if you want to know which channel that I like to watch that's gaming related, I like to watch Angry Joe's show on YouTube. he has been one of my favorite YouTubers since the early 2010s. But for, gamers, usually I would watch Markiplier and Jacksepticeye. But I would like to watch more. Really from Mark's friends, My Skirm, Lord Minion 777, Crank Gameplays. But I haven't really watched a lot of gamers. But Markiplier and Jacksepticeye are two of my favorite, most watched gamers. Markiplier being my favorite YouTuber. I know. I know I've mentioned Markiplier before, but I've been a fan of him since 2012. Or 2013, actually. John, which rock band do you like to see concert in the future? Depends on the prices, but I would have loved to see the Rolling Stones live. AC/DC. I have seen The Who live. I think those two are it. Maybe Greta Van Fleet. Those three will do, I think. I know I'm missing out on a lot. Sorry for the awkward silence and pausing, but I think those three really come up to mind. Oh, and in April time, postponed show-wise, I am going to see Genesis with Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, and Tony Banks, along with Phil Collins' touring guitarist and Phil's son on the drums. I'm going to see Genesis for the first time. Seditions with Scorns. Now you're almost 26. Do you feel 25 all over again? Maybe, because 25 has been the most productive time of age for me since 2016 and 17. I'm not going to go into 2018 or 19, to be honest. Well, really for personal and for family reasons. But for 2019 on live shows, it was brilliant. But 2018, I'm not going to go there. But 2020, despite the cancelling and postponing of shows, is actually one of the years that I liked a lot for me to be productive and to be busy with what I got to do. Shizazzle, my favorite YouTuber is Killbot and Gorgor Attack. Blackwater Rust, not the biggest fans of adding classical compositions to metal, with the big exceptions being Emperor. Emperor sound really cool with orchestrations, by the way. Should have mentioned them. Septic Flesh and Flesh God Apocalypse. Those bands create interesting atmosphere with classical. Do you believe, John, do you believe the reaction from people on YouTube saying that they never heard this song from the Beatles? Reaction from people on YouTube saying that they never heard this song from the Beatles. If they haven't heard a song from the Beatles, if that's the truth, then they haven't. Nobody would say that they haven't heard the Beatles and they've actually heard of them. I mean, who does not know the Beatles? That's really it, to be honest. Blackwater Rust. If Cradle of Filth counts, though, I would add them to the exceptions as well. Yes, I will accept you there. They do add in symphonic stuff, but they still deliver in the extreme side on their metal sound. Excuse me. And I think Cradle of Filth is one of the bands that really gave me an interest into that kind of sound when I was a teen, but I've not heard, and seen a lot of the Cradle of Filth sounds, other than the music videos from the past. When I was getting into the metal genre, seeing music videos from um, Her Ghost in the Fog to Nymphetamine, Fix, and seeing live music, live show videos. I mean, um, but I will have to really dig back into Cradle of Filth. Actually, I still only have Midian on CD. I know that's bad of me, but needless to say, I really do enjoy quite a lot of Cradle of Filth there. John, your favorite female singer? It has to be Joni Mitchell or Aretha Franklin. Those two, I absolutely love those voices. Shizazel, Angela Gosso for me. That is really cool. YouTube again. Stop putting comments helpful review. Sake. Blackwater Russ. I want to see Deftones live. Had tickets to see them with Poppy and Gojira until COVID fucked that up. That really sucks. That's a shame. And again, Deftones are a band that I would really like to see live. And Gojira. Shizazel, would you rather in a rural or an urban area? I don't really know, to be honest. I can't really say because it depends on what I feel comfortable with. Well, I think I prefer to be in a place with a music scene that is so big and with people that are still as dedicating to keep the live music scene going, but to have musicians in a creative environment, in a creative path of being in a big environment of making music that is intriguing to me, into my ears, but also to get to know musicians for an interesting perspective and sound. To be in an area with that kind of thing is what I like. I am always, for me, like a city person. So, Zach D Productions, did you hear Dream Theater is working on a new album? Yes, I have heard of them making a new album. Blackwater Rust, favorite female singer? Probably Kate Bush or Aretha Franklin. Kate Bush is wonderful. Her vocals are really good, especially when I hear Don't Give Up from Peter Gabriel. Rather Live, sorry. Now I get you, Shizazel. Sedition Through Scorns, I had tickets for Tool in May, just a month after my birthday, but when lockdown started, my heart just broke. Being such a long-time fan of theirs since 2006, when I've been dying to see them perform. Tool are actually... sorry about that. Shut up. Notification. Tool are a band, before I got distracted, are a very cool visual-looking band, especially with the screens and the effects. But I would really enjoy a lot of the time to see Tool live. I think if they would perform the entirety of Lateralis, then that would be something awesome. Don't Give Up is such a great song. Yes, it is one of the best Peter Gabriel songs. John, do you like the Carpenters? Yeah, occasionally. I like the Carpenters. Blackwater Rust, favorite tour you have seen live? Oh, I think it's for Slipknot on the... Oh no, that's not the poster. Looking at the poster there. the Slipknot We Are Not Your Kind tour, early 2020, in Behemoth supporting. And that was just the funnest experience I've ever had. I have done a concert review for it, actually. So, but I will never forget that. I will never forget that I've met Mick for a few seconds on a sign and greet the night before at Guitar in Birmingham, so that he signed the self-titled album and We Are Not Your Kind for me. Shook his hand as well, but you have to see my concert review. Sedition Through Scorn's favourite female singer for me is Christina Scabbia from Lacuna Coil. Met her twice, have all of their albums, and got to talk with her in support with Devil You Know, and I will interview them soon. That is really cool. I like a bit of Lacuna Coil. John, your favourite album by Mick Jagger? I have not heard any of his solo albums, but I have heard Cross-Eyed Heart from Keith Richards, which is really good. Sedition Through Scorns, for me, the best tour I've ever been was seeing the Black Dahlia Murder with Nile, Hour of Penance, and Skeleton Witch next to seeing Cattle Decapitation with Suffocation in 2018. Really, really awesome selection there. Cattle Decapitation with Suffocation. Nile. I would like to see Nile live. I think the biggest issue with that, though, is the sound from the speakers, the PA system. Sometimes the sound of Nile live is not as good as the studio. I know it's difficult, but sometimes when I watch a live show on YouTube of Nile, their sound can be very thin, and the guitars are either just thin or the drums can be too loud or whatever. But if I will have the chance to see Nile live, hopefully I will get a decent sound out of it. That's the problem with some metal bands. With some of their sounds live that are different, it can be very iffy or shit. Zach D Productions, you know what album I really like? A lot of people seem to hate Gore from Deftones. You see, with Gore, the album is still my least favorite in the discography. The only thing that I do not like is the production. The production on the album is, it's uncomfortable sometimes. But the songs themselves, some of them are awesome. A few that I'm not really grown with, but I think this was a problematic album to make, especially for Stephen Carpenter, the guitar player. And, Gore still has its moments, but I think some Deftones fans would say that Saturday Night Wrist is one of the weaker albums, but I actually prefer that album over this. But Gore is still a good album. John, do you like John Denver songs like Take Me Home, Country Roads? I do like John Denver. I like John Denver. I don't listen to him a lot, but some of his singles are classics, especially Hearing Country Roads. So, one sec, guys. A little pause. Sorry about that, guys. A little drink. Yeah, John Denver, very, very good singer and singer-songwriter. So I will give him a lot of respect, and I actually have a greatest hits collection of his stuff. Blackwater Rust, favorite tours I have seen live is Iron Maiden's The Final Frontier tour with Dream Theater, the Book of Souls tour with Ghost, and the 2017 Red Rocks tour with Devin Townsend, Opeth, and Gojira. You make me jealous, man. If I was getting into Devin Townsend some years ago, I would have loved, if it happened in the UK, close to where I live, I would have loved to see Devin Townsend and Opeth and Gojira. But Iron Maiden are a band that I need to see live. Maybe Dream Theater too. But that was very, very cool to see those bands. I bet it was a blast. Zach D Productions, Gore used to be my least favorite album, but I'm not sure if it is anymore, to be honest. Still not one of their best, though. It has some great songs, but I think on stuff from Koi no Yokan to even on Adrenaline to be memorable than Gore. But Gore has a lot of enjoyable stuff besides the production that I don't like. Blackwater Rust, Gore is it's okay. Every other album from Deftones I really enjoy. Devin Townsend is incredible live. Dude has some best vocals ever. Some of the greatest vocals I've ever heard. And I love to hear Devin Townsend and see him live. I'm very pleased that he's changed as a person as well. Besides, he went through different addictions to his bipolar disorder and mental institutes. I'm really happy that he has been in a much better place, years later. With the music that he delivers and his wife and son, John, I really liked the songs by Sting and the Police. I am now going to say that you are more of a rock person, but that's great because I love a lot of rock. I like Sting and the Police a lot as well. Sedition Through Scorns. If Mars to Sirius, it's from Mars to Sirius, gets a 20-year anniversary tour for 2025 when shows aren't obsolete anymore, it would be 10 out of 10. Here's my money, Ticketmaster, take all of it. If that would have happened, that would be just a great experience because that is my favorite Gojira album. Zach D Productions, Around the Fur and Koi no Yokan are my two favorites from Deftones. So Around the Fur is still my second favorite Deftones album. And I think that besides Gore, their discography is one of the favorites. Love most of their albums. Blackwater Rust, Adrenaline grew on me. Their new metal stuff is pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Some people criticize the production. Yeah, I know it's not perfect, but I've heard production of albums that are weaker. Sedition Through Scorns, strapping young lad, would have been phenomenal if Devin were to resurrect that band again. I saw them in 2006 with System of a Down and others, but man, they ruled it live, especially hearing Alien live. That sounds just phenomenal. System of a Down have always been a band that I would love to see as well. Zach D Productions, Are You Into Def Leppard? Great classic rock band. Not really a Def Leppard fan, but I have one album, Adrenalize, the deluxe edition. It was one of the CDs that Johnny Doom from Kerrang Radio at the time gave to me for free when I was 15 for work experience. Blackwater Rust, yes, Devin really changed a lot. He was hilarious live and was a really good guy. Michael Adeffect from Opeth, by the way, was also a really funny guy and good guy to have a beer with. Yeah, the Duplantier brothers were very nice. They are really cool musicians. And Devin's one of the nicest that I've seen. John, Adam and the Ants has funny songs. Prince Charming, Ants Rap, Goody Two Shoes, and Stand and Deliver. I've not heard a lot of Adam and the Ants for, a lot of times, really. But I like the sound of them. Shizazel, what album has the worst production? For me, I would have to say Rake of Putrefaction by Carcass. It really hasn't aged well. To me, I think that production has aged well for that kind of sound and genre. It's really filthy. It is very muffled, and I will still say it's a pretty distinctive sound into that raw gore grind sound. I think the album has the worst production. I think for metal albums, I think you may be asking, for metal album production, I think the worst, I still think Born Again by Black Sabbath to Death Magnetic from Metallica and Saint Anger. I'd say Illu Divinum Insanus from Morbid Angel to that's pretty difficult, actually. Nile at the Gates of Sethu. I know that's a shock, but I don't like the production. I can't say which is the worst produced metal album, though, because there's a lot. Marie, Ryan, I'm glad you're back. We've got less than 10 minutes until the time for me to hit 26. Hello again, Marie. Zach D Productions, Adrenalize, great album, maybe one of their best. I think it's pretty underrated. It's not one of the top 5 favorites. Blackwater Rust, worst production, most early black metal. I like early black metal records, even if some of them sound like shit. But really, Dimmu Borgir's Stormblast has some pretty raw production, but I love it. I love the production on Dark Medieval Times by Satyricon. Shizazel Burzum's Philosophem is really bad. Recaputrefaction is one of the most recognizable albums. Once you hear it, you'll probably know it. Sedition Through Scorns, Breeding the Spawn by Suffocation doesn't have bad production sound as much as people say it is. I think the production is pretty good, but Effigy of the Forgotten's production to me is the best one. But I can't really dive into it without giving much context. I don't mind the production, it's not bad, but it's really for the music mostly. John, I like All About Soul by Billy Joel. I like a bit of Billy Joel, actually. I have a bit of a pile of Billy Joel on vinyl. Blackwater Rust, Dark Throne's early albums, except their debut, has terrible production. Intentional, though, really great band. I love the production on A Blaze in the Northern Sky and Panzerfaust. But yeah, I do love some early Dark Throne stuff. Zach D Productions. Oh yeah, happy birthday, man. Thank you very much. Cheers, Zach D. John, my favorite song by Elton John is Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. My favorite Elton John song is Still, it's obvious, Rocket Man, but I have got to come back to his own stuff. I have a few on CD and on vinyl, um, but I love some Elton John. Summer fruits drink. God, I need to shave this beard. The food and the drink on this mustache gets very annoying. Um, John, I only know two songs by Huey Lewis and the News, The Power of Love and Back in Time. I don't really know Huey Lewis and the News that well, to be honest, man. So I can't say. Oh, Zach D Productions, sorry. I'll be 25 in spring. Nice. That is nice to see. I hope your birthday is going to be a blast. I know that my birthday for tomorrow and for the Christmas season for a lot of us is going to be very different, but I think it's for the better to be at home. And I'm never a person that is going to be all for the pubs for a celebration like my birthday. I'm always an introvert person to stay at home, celebrate my birthday with what I want to do, and I am going to be having a really nice time tomorrow. Sedition through Scorns, I'll be 31 in April, yet I get told I look between 24 or 25 despite my appearance. You know, if you are just being you, that's just the way you look, man. You know, I don't think you look at those ages, but I was surprised that you're in your 30s now. But you know, if people are just gonna judge your appearance, you know, fuck them. Blackwater Rust, but the one I hate the worst is Metallica's Saint Anger. It's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite Metallica album. Could have been a decent album, but the production and trash can snare ruined the album. I know a lot of people say that Saint Anger is the worst Metallica album. But I actually think Saint Anger is not my least favorite Metallica album. Yes, it has maybe still the worst production. However, I've grown to appreciate the snare drum. It never gave me a headache, and it's, for what some people say, that it's a distinctive sound for Lars' snare. But I do defend the snare now. Zach D Productions, my last few B days have been kind of boring, to be honest. Well, I know that your birthday is going to be different, but I hope you will have to be as positive as you can to celebrate it. 2 minutes for me to see the clock, but you just have to, you know, be happy with what you got and, you know, enjoy what you like to do best. Celebrate it with as much of the amount of the enjoyment for celebrating a birthday and receiving gifts. John, is Susie Quattro still singing? I don't know. Can't say that one again. Shizazo, thoughts on Lars' drumming? I think Lars is still a great drummer, even on the albums from Metallica. However, I will say, not to diss on Lars, but his drumming live is very sloppy. You know, it's sometimes like with Jimmy Page's sloppiness with Led Zeppelin live. Sometimes with Lars' drumming, it's either off time or he plays things so safe. And yet the rest of the band have still got it, and Lars, but Lars is the weakest in the bunch. Not to diss on him, but, you know, I love Lars in Metallica's drumming. So I'm just going to wait until the time comes. Sorry for the awkward silence. I'm just anticipated. So, by the way, thank you guys very much for this amazing stream. It's just as great as the last one. And we are here. It is now midnight. It's now midnight. Me, now 26. To be honest, I think with me, I say to be honest so much. For me, being 26 is going to be a productive age for me, as well as 25. And we are here. We are here to now celebrate my 26th birthday. The time's now here. Blackwater Rust, Reload, and Death Magnetic is worse as albums overall, but James's voice, Lars' drums, and production are easily the worst. I like Death Magnetic as an album, but the production on the album was absolutely horrendous. I was actually listening to the album through a YouTuber who made a better mix, and to hear the bass better as well. So check that out too. Zach D Productions, I'm kind of an introvert too, lol. So you're not the only one. There's a lot of people who are that. Peggy Peck, happy 26th birthday, strong boys. I'm 31 in February. I hope your birthday is going to be nice. And let's just hope that this new year is going to be the change for the positives into the state of the world, this country alone, and to build some more positivity and to get involved with each other. That's personally for me like the most important and the main thing to achieve. So that's really it. So I think I hear footsteps. But anyways, we've reached it. For me, now 26 years old. Blackwater Rust, happy birthday. Thank you very much, Blackwater Rust. Same to Shazazzle. Blackwater Rust, great stream. I am happy that this stream's been great. 17 likes, and it's been a blast. Shazazzle, how do you feel being 26? For right now, I think I feel great. I feel great being 26. Sedition through scorns, as 66 Samus once said. Oh yeah. John, the live stream was great. Yes, I will be ending this live stream in a few minutes because it's very late here and the family needs to get to bed. Marie Ryan, I'm glad I recently found this channel. You're nice to your subs. Thank you. I do what I can, and I think my positivity has changed for the better since the late 2010s to really think about who I want to be as a person and be very personal over time, since the time for me as a music fan and for me just being me, it's just a difference for the better. Shazazzle, too bad you're not turning 22. I know. Being 22 was one of my favorite years. Pecky Peck, I know who I think sounds sloppy live. Ian Astbury from The Cult. Love him on the albums, but when I saw them live, his singing wasn't all that good. Like Ian Brown's, he's better on record. I haven't really heard Ian's vocals that weak from The Cult. But I'm not a fan of The Cult, but I like the sound of them. I do play She Sells Sanctuary, though. Blackwater Rust, again, happy birthday, though. Thank you very much. Metallica's Death Magnetic was a part of the infamous Loud Wars. Indeed, exactly, on Rick Rubin's production. Zach D Productions, yeah, hopefully 2021 is when things head in the right direction for the world. Yeah, more power to you. And for everybody else, we should be reaching new highs in the new year, hopefully. Marie Ryan, 18 likes. Not bad. Yeah, not bad, I suppose. Again, never a bragger for me, too. Zach D Productions, nice stream, man. Take care. You too. And if you Skype or hang out with Jamie, tell him I said hi. I don't know if he's either watching this or not, but if he was watching this, hey Jamie, hope you are doing very well. Shizazzle, if I were to be honest, this was one of my favorite channels as of late. Always love the live streams. I am very grateful. That is a brilliant time to make me think in that way of expression. That's a time to make me believe that I will keep things going. I will keep this going and productive as much as I can for the videos. But as I said before, from the last hour and a half ago, or hour actually, that for me, being a musician and stuff outside of YouTube is going to be the most productive thing than YouTube in the future. But I don't know when that will happen for me to be away from YouTube and to focus on me to be a productive and heavily busy professional musician. So yeah, but I'll be on this channel as much as I can. So I love it. Marie Ryan, I watched your Limp Bizkit album review from when you were a kid, and it was funny as hell. Yeah, I was 14. Well, it wasn't really a review. I guess it was like my first update video. I actually don't think I have it anymore. I may have given it away, but if I still have it, yeah, I think I gave it away. Yeah, Shizazzle, man, take care, man, and have the rest of 2020 year be as best as possible. The rest of 2020 will be a change for the better, but only if as humanity will behave itself. That's the only thing that we need to think about. Because when these news are going to, erupt to the public, virtually and personally. So yeah. Anyway, 2020, one of my favorite years. There will be some more new videos to finish off the new year. Once again, thank you very much for streaming. To anyone else that I like to watch, like Jamie, for example. Also, if you guys are going to be streaming, please let me know. Even Zach D Productions. Thank you to the streamers that I love to watch, but also, as importantly, thank you guys for tuning into my streams, keeping the positivity going, and cheers for the thumbs up, the support. Thank you to old subscribers and new subscribers. And let's hope, sorry about this, guys. Let's hope 2021 will be the best year that we can get as much as possible. So yeah, cheers to you all, guys. And as always, thank you so much for watching. And Marie, Ryan, yeah, that's Dad behind the door. Yeah, cheers for the comments and the great questions and the chats. I know I'm rambling on, but thank you all very much. I'll keep you guys posted for more videos, as I started there, in the near future.